I'm taking a more sort of planted tank aquascaping sort of principles and applying it here. So sometimes I start imagining the corals a little bit more like I would aquatic plants. You know, what I'm attempting to achieve is something more design oriented and less sort of coral collection.
Hey Reef Builders, my name is Remy and welcome back to another video. Today we're heading back to the Reef Builders Lounge at Aquashella Dallas to get an abbreviated masterclass from Aquarium Design Group's own Jeff Senske. If you want to see more of their amazing work, they've got a great YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description below. Just two things before we start. So the audio is going to be a little choppy for the first minute of the video or so. We had a little bit of an audio issue that first night on the floor, but no big deal. It clears up, so just hang with us. And number two is real easy. Just like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know when we post new videos. That would be fantastic. All right, let's head back to Aquashella Dallas.
Hey everyone, Jeff Senske with Aquarium Design Group here. Day one, setup day here at Aquashella in Dallas. Today I'm doing a saltwater aquarium. Now I know ADG, myself perhaps, a little bit better known for freshwater, but we do and love saltwater aquariums also. The rock is from Carib Sea. They do a lot of this kind of arch piece, which is, I think, really cool and versatile. They also come with the holes and a support rod, and you can stack them, but what's very important is that there's plenty of surface area available for placing corals. Just like in a classic planted tank iwagumi style, we've got these points here, kind of creating attention, giving us a little bit of a sense of some depth to the back there. So as we start working with the coral, it's always possible that this could change.
Got the tank filled. Made a few more minor adjustments as I went along, but pretty much ready to start adding some coral. Now, you know, the way this works at an event like this is coral shows up. That's the coral you're using. It's a weekend festival, and that's how it works. So I'm going to do my best to place things in a pleasing manner, adjust as I go, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I had my eye on this guy right away. It's really a piece that I think has a good potential, kind of really fill in, you know, an area like that. You know, it just has a good opportunity, I think, to fit in a lot of different places, you know, where maybe it has the appearance like it's been there for some time. Now, again, all this stuff may move as I go because I'm not sure if there's a third one over there. Now I might be more inclined to start thinking about putting this coral down on this side in some kind of way. So now I'm starting to see a thing emerging, you know, like the real similarity. So this coral could very much end up, I'm already going, I'm seeing that coral moving from that spot, but we'll see how that plays out. Okay, so it is another frog spawn, but it's a slightly different color because now you get into a thing where you have similar corals, different colors, but the ones that are the same color, you know, start to kind of create a pattern in the aquarium. So we're gonna work with that as we go. That might help us get a little more of a theme working as opposed to a pile of rocks with a whole bunch of different corals jammed on it, which is generally something I try to avoid. So I just spotted another one of those frog spawns. In coral, you can really start to kind of lean into that. Now, I'm sort of particular about placing a coral. I'm always trying to get it to look like it's been there for a long time. So this for me is like, this is a jackpot right here. I love these big mushrooms. We've already got one going here. He's more or less the same color. And it's just gonna I'm gonna really try and lean into this theme right now. We've got the frog spawns of a similar color. So we're going for, you know, what I'm attempting to achieve is something more design oriented and less sort of coral collection, or less trying to represent so many different kinds of coral and going, you know, how can I lean into a certain color or pattern or something that has maybe a greater sense of coherence from end to end. The last thing I want is this mushroom here and one here, and then now I'm gonna kind of need one over here to continue the theme. Like this is already looking a little awkward. I could end up moving this guy a little closer to that guy if there's not another one, but we'll see. So we're gonna gamble a little bit on this piece. I just feel like it's something that will integrate pretty well. So I'm looking now, you know, these two big platforms up here, jackpot. So there was another one out. I'm sure basically gonna be like, Jeff took all the big mushrooms, but all I can say is yes, I did. Kind of return to that spot there. So this piece is the exact kind that I had said I was kind of trying to avoid in this Scape, but it doesn't mean it can't work. Now the kind of aquarium I love, the kind of marine aquarium I love, I'd probably be stopping right about here, and I would just make it my goal over the coming weeks to be kind of looking for more things that kind of continue this theme. We're just gonna have to take a big turn and start to work in some of these other corals, which is gonna really start to change the shape of things. I try to keep any of the polyps from, you know, resting on the rocks. So if you haven't caught on by now too, I'm taking a more sort of planted tank aquascaping sort of principles and applying it here. So sometimes I start imagining the corals a little bit more like I would aquatic plants. Why do I do that? Well, you know, aquascaping, freshwater aquascaping just gives us a lot of great reference points for composition. Or I'm going, well, does this work in that kind of way? Instead of sort of wishing for the coral that I don't have, I'm going to apply principles from other styles of effective aquarium design to make it work and hopefully make something new and something interesting. So I grabbed that one because I knew there was another one. Bringing in a different one here with the clove polyps. Coral I really love. Kind of see what we can work in here. This clove. That gives a little more emphasis of that same coral on this side, but we do kind of bring him to the other side as well. And I like the balance there. So right now, this spot here becomes, you know, I'm gonna need just the right thing to go in that spot. I've got a couple ideas. I think we're coming in with a new texture here. It appears to be a zoanthid of some kind. I can't really get a read on the polyps. Color-wise, this may be problematic. We'll have to just see after they open. And so here, you know, like I set it there and it's sort of staying. Something better may still emerge. I have no idea what. It's kind of a big deal at this point. That's an important spot. I think even by now, you know, you can get a sense of the theme. My experience with this kind of marine tank is it's always somebody's favorite tank. They either really love it or it's the most boring thing they ever saw. Why would you waste all your money on that kind of boring coral presentation? So, you know, it's like anything. It's art, it's subjective. You know, and this is the stage in Scape where you start trying stuff that's like, it's going to require just the right piece for it to really come together. I've got to give a big hats off to Vibrant Corals because they did a great job of giving us not just one of too many things. So from an aquascaping standpoint, that's very helpful. So, you know, I use this leather down here and I've got another one here. So, you know, it just starts to be easier to get the compositional balance. You've got multiples of certain corals. Aquashella's in full swing, and we did manage to get this reef tank pretty much done. Now, some of the corals have not quite opened up. We're still a little early in the day here as well, but hopefully you can see that we were able to pull together a little, what I hope is a more coherent design. But you know, we made choices based more on color, on texture, and my real goal was a consistent sort of design theme or flow from one end to the other. So I took care to try and, you know, balance elements. If I had something represented on this side, I'm trying to bring it in its correct proportion over to this side. I was really happy that these hammer corals came together in such a way that, again, I could kind of have this line. And that's really what a reef scape like this is about. And you know, this is a very simple, entry-level, budget-friendly aquarium. And you know, in that case, we would definitely do better to choose coral that are going to be happy in what we would call kind of a saltwater low-tech environment. You know, in the freshwater aquascaping side, we talk about high-tech and low-tech in terms of different approaches or the kinds of plants we would choose. Well, there's definitely a high-tech and low-tech sort of philosophy and, you know, system design with marine tanks as well. So in this case, choosing these really hardier LPS corals, even a focus on things like the different mushrooms and some of the different clover polyps, and you know, corals that are generally going to have an impact and adapt to aquarium life much faster and require a lot less sort of water maintenance, chemistry, this kind of thing, than your SPS or your stony corals will. We're able to achieve a relatively coherent design from end to end. Anyway, that was my goal here. Overall, pleased with how it turned out, and really thank you for paying attention to this tank.
I want to thank Jeff Senske for doing such a thorough description of his aquascape. A couple things to note from this video that I don't think a lot of hobbyists consider. It's okay to have the same species of coral in different parts of your tank, even if they're the same color. I'm guessing that most hobbyists, including myself, whenever I'm aquascaping a tank, feel like it might be a little redundant. But from a design standpoint, it can really add to the aesthetics of your aquascape. There's also a point in this video early on when he says, this is where I would stop. And I would observe these corals that I've got in the tank now for about 2 weeks, and I'd see how they do, how they fill out, when they're happy. And then after that, I would continue to add more corals. You have to remember something if you ever attend a festival, a coral convention, whatever the case may be, these tanks are not real. They're typically set up for 48 to 72 hours, so a lot of rules can be broken. Just remember, go slow. It's a journey. That's the fun part of this hobby. And with that, I want to say thanks to Carib Sea for providing the sand and the rock. They did an awesome job. There was so much to choose from, so much variety. They had the trees, they had the arches, the shapes, the regular life rock, so many products to choose from. More in the description below. Also want to thank Planet Aquariums for providing all of those beautiful tide line all-in-one aquariums. Those are the 47-gallon 3-foot tanks, so those are very doable. Like Jeff said, a low-tech tank that can house all of your favorite LPS and softies. And one last thing before we go, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know whenever we post new videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.